Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I know some of you are exhibitors here. Raise your hand if you are. Some of you are visitors and art fans. Raise your hands. Woohoo! Oh, we love you. We also love our artist friends because I think I probably sell more artwork to my artist friends. But I'm glad you're here this morning. I was really contemplating what I was going to speak on this morning, and went back and forth with Brianna and her dad Kevin about potential topics, and it kept coming back to motivation and inspiration and getting unstuck. And those are the kind of things that can apply to every aspect of our lives, not just artists, relationships, parents, things, friendships, jobs, things like that. So I will double check. Is everybody hearing everything okay? Thumbs up? Okay. So, how do we MIGU? It was like, I love that acronym because it was so mysterious and it was so confusing and also a little bit playful. If anybody's a Star Wars fan, Grogu is a big star on The Mandalorian, and I was like, oh, MIGU, Grogu. Yeah, I feel like I'm one with the Force. But this was about an acronym of M for motivation, I for inspiration, and GU for getting unstuck. And I will go ahead and let you change. So, I put that in red. Important question. Am I an artist? Okay, so who here considers themselves an artist? All right. So, posing a question to those who didn't raise their hands, why didn't you? What do you do in your life?
Run a business.
Run a business, okay. Well, I would counter that you have to have a certain amount of artistry in running your business. So go ahead, next slide. So this is my response is every answer in this room should be a yes, and a resounding yes with many, many exclamation points and excitement, because we have to be creative in how we live as human beings. We are creative in how we drive down the road. We're thinking ahead of time, going, oh wait, there's a gap in that car, I'm gonna swing through there, and there's a choreography that happens. There's a way that we navigate through our lives that requires a healthy dose of creativity and adaptability and flexibility and problem solving. And so art is fully in those situations. So we have the art of relationship. How do you relate to your children or your siblings or your parents, your immediate family, your extended family, your family by choice of your friends? That is an art, the art of conversation, the art of dialogue in how we interact with each other and learn about each other. The art of problem solving. Artists are notoriously adaptable in solving problems. We make a lot of mistakes, in quotes, in our studios, but those mistakes don't necessarily imply the end of what we're creating. It is about, oh, wait a minute, I didn't expect that to happen, but what can I do with it? Or how can I use it in the future? That it becomes something that I embrace. It becomes a new tool. The art of community. Who's in a community here? Everybody. Yeah, we're in a community right now in this Hall 3, and I love that we have such a unique ability as human beings, as social animals, to create community wherever we are. We have just, it's almost comical sometimes, the communities that happen, and it's like, well, that's an odd pairing of individuals, but there's something in common that they find and something that they appreciate in each other, and so a community is born and blossoms. I love using this hashtag in everything I post. Hashtag it takes a village. None of us goes through life in a vacuum. None of us goes through life without the help of our community, of our village. Our children are never raised without a village and a community. So right now you are part of my community, and I am so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for Brianna and Kevin and all of the people in this hall, in this Reno Tahoe International Art Show, which is just gobsmackingly beautiful out there if you start walking through. So the art of play. Who loves to play? I have often called myself a toddler in a grown-up skin suit. I love to play. I'm ridiculous in play. Ridiculous in my studio, even though I take my art very seriously, and I take the gallery process and curation and selection of artists in my gallery very seriously. I play all the time. It's how I free myself up. Go ahead, Brianna. Okay, the big M. Who has been unmotivated even in the last day? In the last week? In the last month? In the last year? In the last decade? We all have faced a lack of motivation, or a feeling that I want to begin something, but I don't know what I want to begin. And that's a huge, almost a black hole to be in, when we feel unmotivated, uninspired, and we feel stuck. So if I can't find my motivation, is it lost forever? Can it go from blah to bloom? And when motivation needs a workout, sometimes I'm like, okay, do I need to exercise my motivation? I don't know. And then fake it till I make it? Go ahead, next. So if I can't find mine, is it lost forever? No. Let me qualify that with a hell no. It is something that we have proven to ourselves that we can get it back. We've proven through the examples of our lives, at other times when we have felt unmotivated, and all of a sudden, there we are. We've just succeeded in something new. Well, how did that happen without motivation? So I've proven to myself that I can get it back. And that's something that I need to remind myself regularly, and that artists can learn to understand and look back at the evidence of their lives that motivation does return. And taking a new perspective at that motivation is an effective tool for discovery and transformation. Much of my artwork is about new perspectives. I'm in booth 201 with my gallery, but I have a lot of my artwork in here, which is mural-sized paintings to smaller paintings. And much of the artwork is inviting the viewer to move in relationship to the light. And now I've got light and shadow, and things happen when we move in relationship to the light. My shadow is moving. My things are becoming more visible even on my face. My glasses may change to sunglasses, I don't know. But the layers that I have in my paintings also react to the light. And I frequently put hidden messages, poems, words, symbols that are only seen when the viewer goes, oh, wait a minute, something's reflecting there. Oh, something's hidden there. And it is the invitation to look at everything in our lives in a new light, from a new perspective. I don't know anything about you other than Grace and Sylvia, correct? And I loved your little pendant, amazing, Grace. And so I have that perspective of you, but it's this deep. I don't know anything more. But no, I would say it's not. I would say that by getting to know you, having more conversations with everybody here in this community, that I will gain a deeper understanding, because I've chosen not to look at you from a distance. I've chosen not to go, well, I can see that they're wearing a black graphic t-shirt, which is kind of cool, but that doesn't tell me everything about the individual. I can see glasses choices tell a lot about an individual, but it's not the whole story. So the invitation to look at something from a new perspective, look at it literally in a new light, helps me and helps us as a whole understand that I don't know everything, and I have the opportunity to learn something. And that learning is applied to relationships, that learning is applied to our country at large, sometimes political weirdness, religion, cultures, and I have learned that looking at something from a new perspective does not endanger my perspective. It doesn't endanger my beliefs. It helps me expand them. It helps me to have a fuller life. So go ahead and next slide. Okay, can motivation go from blah to bloom? Who has a garden? Sometimes. Mine's in the desert. I'm down in Las Vegas, so it suffers regularly. Who has plants in their home? A lot of us do. So we understand that nurturing those growing things. Who has children? We understand nurturing those growing things. How do I nurture myself? How do I nurture my community? And that when we are looking at things that appear to be dead, I mean, this is one of my favorite photos that, I'm out in the desert and it looks like it is barren, devoid of life, but yet I know those roots run deep and they will start to suck up the moisture as it comes down. They will start to suck up the nutrients. And think of the word nutrients. I love how it reminds me of nurture. Even though the R is in a different place to the T, it still reminds me of nurture. And yes, we have dormancy in our lives. I've had times in my life where I was far away from art. I'm also a musician. I was far away from music and performance. And rather than being constantly frustrated, like, I want to be playing music, or I want to be arting, or doing something creative, I embraced that opportunity for dormancy to restore myself, to refresh the storehouses of nutrients that I need to be able to bloom. And we all have that within us. So don't be afraid of the dormant times. Don't be afraid of the times when life is little less than, colorful and blooming, that it's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna get up and go to work, or I'm gonna get up and go to the studio, or I'm gonna get up and go do whatever it is that I know I need to do. It's okay. We're not at the end of our lives because we have these little gaps of dormancy. Go ahead. Oh, yes. This is something I have to frequently remind myself too, that motivation is like any other tool in our behavior, in our minds, in our hearts, our souls, whatever, that we can treat it with care. Think about how we treat our bodies. Sometimes I've not been as kind to my body as I should, but I try to do things that keep me strong. And again, back to recognizing that we will have dormant times in our lives. It's an opportunity for us to restore, and that's part of that workout. That's part of how we stretch our muscles, how we warm down, how we warm up, and letting us have the awareness of what it is we're working out, whether it's motivation or other things that will come. I want my motivation to be long lasting. Well, if I want to train for something physically, I have to build up my endurance. I have to think in terms of, okay, what helps me stay motivated? And not obsessively focus on it, but embrace it in a way that is healthy and acknowledges that, oh, this feels really, really good. I'm not sacrificing all these other things in my life for the sake of it, but I'm adding to them. So it continues to support my motivation. It continues to build it, strengthen it, create the endurance that I need. I tend to work very, very large, 10-foot by 6-foot, 7-foot murals sometimes, and they're physically demanding, and they take a lot of time and a lot of interaction and intention. And when I'm intentional with those pieces, I find that I am very motivated because it's like I see things happening, and when I see things happening, it's like, oh, well, more things are going to happen because I'm seeing those things happening. And so again, it's this extrapolation and this building upon and this almost leapfrogging of, oh, I got this motivation, now I'm doing this motivation, and jumping over to this motivation. And back to play, I refer to that, I'm just silly about it. Okay, next one. Fake it till I make it. I understand the need for this term, but it's overdone. Why do we fake it? Why do we think we need to fake who we are? It's exhausting. It denies who we are any given day. Again, back to dormancy. Sometimes I am dormant, and it's not by choice. It's like, okay, my body says enough, my mind says enough, my spirit says enough, and my emotions sometimes say enough. So letting me sit back, pay attention to what I need without having to fake a smile. A serious part of my art is dealing with grief and loss. Who's had grief and loss in their lives? From the loss of a pet to the loss of a friendship, the loss of a job, we all understand loss. We all understand these things that set us back on our heels and go, oh, I don't feel like smiling. I don't feel like laughing. Our daughter was taken from us 5 years ago, and I painted through that, and I actually did a year's documentation of self-portraits to document when I started to smile, even just slightly, laugh, dance, and back to the evidence of who we are as human beings. We have proof that we have survived loss. We have proof that we've survived grief, debilitating. We have proof that we've survived injuries. I had leg surgery at 18 that cut both of my bones right above the knee joints, rotated the bottom of the legs, and screws and plates put in. I was skiing the next winter. It's like nothing's going to stop me if I choose that. Do I have pain? Sure. Who has pain in their lives, in their bodies, especially as we get a little older? We start to go, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know I had that muscle. What did I do? Oh, yeah. So yes, we are invited to embrace the experience of being a human being. The good, the bad, the indifferent, the blah, the blooming, the irksome, the angry, the joyful, the loving, all of these things. We don't have to fake who we are. So think about that and owning who you are at the present moment. That's going to change. I know who I am as a whole. Some days I go, wait a minute, why am I feeling this way? Where did that person come from? And I got snarky. I'm not a snarky individual. Sometimes you just have snark. So it's admitting who I am, not denying who I am, that lets me grow through and help me not fake it. So next one. Oh, yes. So every artist in here probably understands the lack of inspiration. There have been times when I fought the I word. I was like, I'm supposed to be creating something. I love creating, or even as a songwriter, where are my lyrics coming from? Where's my chord structure? Where's my melody? Where's my rhythm? And it would be frustrating and hair pulling. Of course, I still have hair, so, but it was something that it's like, why don't I have inspiration? Where can I find it? Is it through somebody else? Is it external? And over time, I've come up with things that really, really, really help me. Just writing down, what do I love? So I love a smile. I love, you know, bright faces that are genuine and embracing an interaction. I love, you know, hearing from people going, I was telling everybody about your talk. I was like, wow, thank you. You know, that was like, that's you know, something that a speaker or an artist or anybody who is engaging with the public appreciates. And it wasn't asked for, it wasn't, you know, begged, it was just happening. The things I love, my puppy dogs, my husband, my weird, quirky desert home in Tacoma Hot Springs, California that is like a 1960-something single wide trailer with